Let's get into the Jon Moxley stuff since somebody brought that up. We never talked about that yesterday. So Jon Moxley, I guess we talked a little bit about it in our brief Dynamite watch-along on Wednesday. Moxley was set to face Orange Cassidy, I guess, in the semis of the Eliminator Tournament on Wednesday. On Dynamite, earlier on that day, or maybe the day before, might have been Tuesday, Tony Khan tweets out with Moxley's permission to share this information that Moxley has voluntarily entered an inpatient treatment program to deal with some alcohol, substance abuse, and addiction, a problem that I wasn't even aware that he had. Now, it was crazy, when you see the outpouring of love and support for Moxley before Dynamite even happened. And it was like social media. And I was reading through, obviously, it's Twitter. You're going to have dick bags no matter what. But overall, I mean, the love and the support that was coming out from a lot of the fans, and especially his peers, everybody in the wrestling business, I'm like, you know what? That gives me slight, and I mean slight, hope for wrestling humanity. That fans actually can put their bullshit aside. I'm sure you're going to have some asscocks that are going to use the Moxley thing as a way to attack AEW because they're slimy, spineless pieces of inbred shit. But regular people who see this guy struggling and appreciate the fact that he recognized this himself and decided to seek treatment himself when he's on the verge of potentially getting a title match, and going on to big things, having a pay-per-view match and all of that, sacrificing it all, to recognize his problem. I think a lot of people were impressed with that he was so open about it, that he sought help, that AEW helped him out, and they supported him 1 trillion%, almost to the point where it was overkill. Because then on Dynamite, if you noticed, there was little tributes sprinkled out to Moxley throughout the entire show. And I mean, it warmed my heart, but at the same time, I'm like, he ain't dead, So it was like, wow, yeah, they are really trying to make it known that they are a family over there. Whether or not that's truly true, time will tell. But, that sort of support would make me it would be a very attractive place to work, especially when you read Nia Jax's statement from the other day when she was released, talking about how she was in the middle of taking a mental health break and she was let go in the middle of that. If Nia Jax was in AEW, they'd be tributing her on Dynamite, or in WWE, they fire your ass. And there obviously could be a lot more to it than that, but according to her, that's what it boiled down to. And because she continued to want time off and they didn't want to give it to her. She needed a mental health break. Some people need that. I don't. Some people do. And if people need to go seek that out for the betterment of themselves and their own sanity and good mental health, the company should be there to support them. And, like I said, unless there's a lot more to it than what Nia is sharing, if we take her for her word, it makes WWE look pretty shitty to do that. So to see the support that Moxley got, not only from the fans, not only from wrestlers all across all wrestling companies and the company he works for itself, I can understand why a lot of people will be clamoring to go over there and work. And Moxley, we wish him the best too. I mean, I don't know how long the treatment plan is. I don't know if this is 30 days or anything like that. Like I said, I don't know anything about Jon Moxley's personal life, but he's never one that I've heard much about in terms of like getting drunk at bars and, and partying and stuff like that. Just never really heard that. But apparently maybe he's drinking a lot more now. That certainly would explain the weight. Those of you who can relate to know people who are alcoholics or maybe drink yourself, alcohol puts a ton of weight on you. And he's beefed up. And you also have to take into consideration the schedule change. People coming from WWE that are on the road, 300 days a year, just being ran into the ground traveling, now have all of this extra free time. And I didn't think Moxley was going to have that much free time because he's a brand new dad. He's got a little kid at home that he's got to take care of. So him being able to recognize this and saying, I got to put my family and Renee and the baby first and take care of myself and nip this in the bud makes me think and makes me wonder how bad this really got. I think it was maybe just starting to get bad and he noticed it and nipped it in the bud right away instead of something that's, really damaging his health and has been going on for years and years and years and years. I don't know. But it seems like it kind of came out of nowhere. So maybe Moxley just noticed in the last couple of years he's been drinking more. Maybe he's not really liked the way he's felt or his behavior or how he looks or how he feels. And he's recognizing this is not usually how I've done things. I'm drinking more than I ever have. I think I want to go get some help. And that's extremely admirable. So whatever the case is there, he recognized it, brought it to, his employer's attention, and they are standing by him 100%. And I know all of us are as well. So get well soon, Moxley. Hope you're back better than ever. Rehab can be tricky, I'm sure. I don't divulge much of my personal life, but I have alcohol abuse in my immediate family. I'm not much of a drinker at all. I'm very lucky that something in my DNA has always made me not love drinking. I drink. I go out socially and have a good time and stuff. When I was younger, when I turned 21, I drank a bunch of shots and threw up like everybody did. It's not that I don't drink at all, but I've really never liked to get drunk. You guys see me on the live streams. I nurse beers. I'm never pounding them down. I'll drink, 1, 2, 3 beers a week, and that's usually when I'm streaming. Other than that, if I drink at all, it's only socially, and it's never liquor, and it's always just, casually sipping on beer. I don't like alcohol, but it runs in my family. I have plenty of family members, and my father, who passed away a couple of years ago, was an alcoholic. And so I understand, I can relate. Many of you, I'm sure, can, with either people or maybe you yourself. So if you are somebody that's struggling with alcohol or addiction or anything like that, hopefully what Moxley is doing here can actually help people. With him being so open about this, and with AEW being so open about it too, this might inspire more people to recognize their own problems and go take care of it. And I think that's an excellent message to send. So best wishes to Jon Moxley and his whole family. Props to all the fans, the wrestlers, and especially AEW and Tony Khan for taking such good care of him and supporting him the way they did. I think that's great. And if you're ever having problems as well, talk to somebody, seek out help, try to get help. Hopefully you'll find the same support that Moxley did. So, and yes, and rehab ain't cheap either. Although I'm sure there are cheaper forms of it. So yeah, Moxley hopefully will be back sooner rather than later. I don't know if maybe they'll just tell him to take the rest of the year off. I mean, after Full Gear, they don't have any pay-per-views until, February or something, right? So essentially he could maybe take the rest of the year off, spend the holidays with his family, regroup, reset, come back refreshed in 2022, or he'll complete his 30 days, his 2 weeks, whatever it is, and pop back up on TV right away. I'm sure that AEW will allow him to do whatever he wants. Whatever he wants to do, they will do. They can adjust his contract or whatever. He's like, hey, can you just pause my contract for 2 months? Let me deal myself, come back, we'll pick it up, whatever. Who knows? But it sounds like he's got a ton of support, and that's good. It's not bad.